Hey everybody, welcome to another show of Rock Mississippi. We're about to go live on 90.1 FM. We got a great show lined up for you today. We got a good guest, Sister Hodges. She's running for judge. We got Starlette here. So the calling number is 601-948-5950. So sit back, relax, and enjoy for a great show. And go ahead and post where you're tuning in from so we can recognize you. And all of our first-time viewers, go ahead and hit the like button. Our returning viewers, go ahead and hit the heart button. And subscribe if you're on YouTube and all that. And we'll be ready to go in just a second. We got the best intro. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Reviving Mississippi. I'm your host, DeKeither Stamps. We got our co-host here, Starlette. How you doing, Starlette?
If I complain, y'all won't listen, so I'm okay.
I'll listen a little bit.
Okay, for starters. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Miss Hodges, how you doing, dear?
I'm doing great.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got a great show lined up for you. As we begin every show, we always say, let's remember those people who are going through bereavement and the sick and shut. And we're going to add that too, because, you know, times like this is hard. You can't really visit like you want to visit. We got all these different, social distancing and things like that still going on. Things are still real out there. So just make sure you're taking care of folks who are going through bereavement and sick and shut in, because you never know when it's the last time you'll get to speak to somebody. So when somebody cross your mind, give them a call and check on them. You know, don't just let them cross your mind and fade on and you go back to watching Steve Harvey make money every night. Now go on, give folks a call when they cross your mind. Let them know you're thinking about them, because you never know when you're gonna need a friend. And you gotta be a friend so you can have a friend when your time comes. Because Starlette, one thing I know, dear.
What you know?
Your time coming.
I know that's
you
the truth.
Need a friend. I'm telling you, need a friend around here. So just make sure you take care of each other and remember those folks who are going through bereavement and sick and shut in. Our sponsors for today's show, our underwriters for today's show, are Michael Jordan and Michael Jordan Transportation Service. We appreciate Mr. Michael Jordan. You can go to www.mjstransportation1.com for your transportation needs. He offers great service, and he's issued a challenge out there, Starlette.
I've heard about it.
Drop that weight, baby. Your grandmama on.
She is that. She is definitely on that.
She
on track.
That's right. I'm on it too. I'm out there getting it every day, trying to make it happen. Let's make sure we not only just use this hot weather to run in the house and get the air conditioning. Go out there and break a sweat. It ain't gonna hurt you. Go out there and break a sweat, drop a pound or two, so you can go into the wintertime a few pounds lighter and hopefully a little bit healthier, thanks to the motivation sent to us by Mr. Michael Jordan at Michael Jordan Transportation Service. He offers great transportation services all over Mississippi area. You can go to www.mjstransportation1.com for your transportation needs. I see we got Sister Sharita Shippins down there. Mr. Timothy Brown tuned in. We got Sister Jean Tucker. How you doing, Jean? Thanks for tuning in. And also, over at SuperBurgers, you know, go on and get you a whole cow between two pieces of bread. And I ain't saying eat the whole burger yourself, because it might not fit into your diet program. But, you know, you can go there and split it in half.
Portions.
Or you can try the mushroom, the veggie burger. I tried that one.
That's right.
I loved it.
That's right. They got options out there for your healthcare needs. So just go on over there and check them out. Same place. You know where it's been. And it's been there for a long time, offering great service. Go over there and tell Phil and Al, at least I said hello. We got a couple of announcements going on. We got the Doggone Dishing Festival coming up.
Come on now.
If Randy Wildman Brown, if Miss Wild, if y'all tuning in, go and call in and let folks know about the Doggone Dishing Festival. Somebody call Randy Wildman Brown, tell him to call in so we can announce properly the Doggone Dishing Festival. We also got a couple other announcements here. You get my paper here, y'all. Y'all know I got to pray for me here. So the Federal Communications Commission has an affordable connectivity program. Are you getting your $30 a month internet discount? If not, if you participate in any of the following programs, you automatically qualify for the Affordable Connectivity Program. If you are on SNAP, Medicaid, Federal Public Housing Assistance, Supplemental Security Income, SSI, WIC, Veterans Pension or Survivor Benefits or Lifeline, you can go to call back. You can go to www.affordableconnectivity.gov. That's affordableconnectivity.gov. So if you underneath the sound of my voice and you qualify in these different programs, send it part one. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
Peace on you. Hey.
Hey, brother. How you doing? What's your question or comment?
Hey, son of man. You're a public servant.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You represent the people, right?
Yes, sir.
You're a soldier. You're a retired military man. A soldier fighting in the army of the Lord, right?
Well, I ain't retired from fighting in the army of the Lord. I'm retired from fighting in the army of America. But go ahead, brother. What's your question or comment?
Well, you got, boy, you straighten me up right there. Fighting for the, my God. But listen, the captain. We all are aware of the things that are going down with the ex-governor, former governor. We see the firing of the lawyer. But I have been screaming for the last 20-some years, a man paying child support. You know, when you catch a prosecutor doing wrong and you got to look at those prior cases and throw it off. But you are a state representative, public servant. I don't understand why people don't want to step up to the plate. And we got this black caucus, and we see all these millions of dollars going out. But you know, we've been dealing with that same situation for the last 30 years. So why we as black men been paying all these fees on the child support, and there's a revolving door, and they've been making us like a tax machine or a donkey monkey. You know, we just giving them money, no accountability. You know, where's the integrity? When they gonna submit bills at least run this through the system, see where the people are at with their white or black, you know, the integrity, All, you know, if you combine the DHS up and go do your investigation for the last 20 to 30 years, every case it is 200 million, 77 million, 90 million. If you look at it, for $500 million in the last 20 years with the DHS, they've been making us pay extra, fees. When you're paying child support, you're paying extra after extra. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm totally familiar with it, brother.
So if you're a prosecutor and you've been doing wrongdoing, why is the integrity department gonna come in and say, you know, they've been fleecing black men? Because I don't know too many white men go through the state system with child support, but black men do. And I know for a fact I've been sending $1,500 to $2,500 fees, the fees when you have to keep paying and paying. It's a hidden system up in that system.
Oh, I agree with you. Let me respond. Let me respond to your question just a second, brother. But I do agree with you that the system.
So together, what I'm saying here, they supposed to throw all those fees out because they've been fleecing us. I'm a black man. I've been paying child support, and they've been fleecing them. So I don't care about what everybody else say do. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
what
sir.
we got to do is do the right thing, ask the right question, and form a committee. Just like they hunting Donald Trump down up there in the White House. They need to do the same thing, Democrat or Republican, DeKeither. Now, if you're going to get up there, change the game. That's why I'm willing to become a conservative, because the Democratic Party, they like some punks, weak back men. Thank you, DeKeither.
I appreciate it, brother. Well, you know, I love being the being who I am. I'm a free man, and I can kind of speak my own piece. I'm going to respond to that very briefly. We got a great show lined up for you. I don't want to derail our guest and our topic that we already have. But the Department of Human Services system, pick up that hand. The Department of Human Services system is definitely a flawed system, very flawed. You know, just it's a point of transparency. You know, 12 years ago, this is my 12-year anniversary.
Nice.
12 years ago today, I retired from the military. And this dadgum crooked system had me paying the state of Alabama child support, the state of Mississippi, and the military was taking out my check. I was paying child support 3 times for the same 2 children, for the same 1 woman, fighting all these different Department of Human Services systems. So I personally know the agony that you go through trying to do the right thing, because once you go over a small amount of money, they cancel your driver's license and issue your arrest warrant for you. So I personally know how hard it is when the system is leaning on you in a way where, and at the time I wasn't making what, about $3,000 or $4,000 a month. So if you paying child support 3 times, you're supposed to pay. That's it. You know, so I personally know how much havoc the system can put on your life. And it was by, first off, the grace of God, that a lady at the child support office said, Mr. Stamps, you've been coming here every month for 3 years asking for the same thing. Let me see your paperwork. And she said, I can't believe, let me take you to my boss. And after 3 years of coming there every month to the office on Woodrow Wilson, this sweet lady came, brought me back in the office and said, Mr. Stamps, we're going to take care of this. And I said, thank you. But it shouldn't have to be somebody just get sick of seeing you. Not sick of seeing you, but see you so much and see how genuine you are and then do the right thing. People should do the right thing from the beginning, because there were some Department of Human Services workers who was involved in manipulating that system on behalf of other people. And so I agree with that. It is definitely a flawed system, and I'll continue to do what I can do to make it better. I know we shed light and introduced the conversation last year, trying to hold people criminally liable if you work in the Department of Human Services office and you get caught steering a situation, we're not being impartial. We were trying to hold some people criminally liable because basically you're stealing money from people. The non-custodial parent, if you manipulate that child support system and you work in the office because you may not like the person or you may know the other person who is involved, if you manipulate that process, I believe you should go to jail. And I believe not only should you just get the situation fixed, that person should be paid their money back.
I totally agree that the men, I've seen it in situations where the men were done paying child support,
Right.
but they were still taking the payments,
Right.
and they would not give them their money back. And in those instances, I'm like, please give them, they need their money back.
That's right.
Or they've been paying child support for a child that wasn't theirs.
I see we got Mr. Marcus Simmons tuned in. How you doing, sir? You know him?
It's my daddy.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we got a great show lined up for you today. We got some folks on the line. Part 1. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. What's your question or comment?
I'm talking to you, man.
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing? You know, I heard the shout out, and I'm a kind of mad at WMPR listener, so you definitely know who on. Especially, you know, I wouldn't miss your show for nothing in the world.
Yes, sir. Tell us what you got going on in the coming weeks with the Doggone Dishing Festival.
Well, let me tell you something. This is Randy Man Brown. I'm talking to you, man. You heard me. And what's going on there, Representative Stamp, is that this is the 12th annual Doggone Dishing Festival, where Ms. Weil and I, we believe in promoting the concept, we give back to the hood. This being our 12th year, of course, you have been a strong supporter from the beginning with this event, and we always look forward to you, if possible, being the Grand Marshal of of the parade, which starts off at 10 o'clock with Mr. Chris Little, and we call him the Baby Boom, the Jim Hill High Tide. The Jim Hill Tigers marching band comes down Hill Street. Man, that's a joyous occasion. You know how it goes because you're usually there. And of course, whole neighborhood come out and we have ourselves a great time. But it's all about giving back to the children in this particular area because we have a lot of children who are not fortunate as others to go to school and not have the necessity that they need in order to start off the school year. So that most definitely brings a cloud over their head when other students are there and they can't participate as they would like to. A matter of fact, you can definitely know what I'm talking about. That can discourage a lot of children from being the best that they can be. And we are staunch believers that our youth are our leaders of tomorrow. So we have to catch them at an early age to keep them wanting to progress and be the best that they can be. So therefore, after the band performs at 10 a.m. Down Hill Street, they will come down to Hill and Washington, and then we'll block the streets off, and we will begin the school supply giveaway, book bags with supplies in them. And we're going to do that as long as it lasts. That's going to begin at 12 noon. So that means Representative Stamps that we don't want to see anyone at 3 or 4 o'clock say, hey, where are the school supplies? We're saying as they last because we do this event. My wife and I, Ms. Wild, we do this solely on donation and those who believe in the concept that we give back to the hood.
Well, we appreciate you and Ms. Wild for all you do. And is there a phone number people can call if they would like to participate in some way?
Sure. We're in the middle of the stream right now accepting donations. You have one or two sources. You can visit www.randywildmanbrown.com, and on the page there is a donate button, or you can we take checks, like to tell us where you are. You can call Ms. Wild 601-940-8917, and you can call her, and we will definitely come out and meet you and collect your donations and save you the time and effort. Right now, we prefer that you call Ms. Wild because mail is so slow, and we need all the donations that we can take in now in order to make this thing happen the way that it should happen next Saturday. And also now, Representative Stamps, other than the school supply backpack with supplies, and we're going to have live entertainment. We have about 15, 20 artists from various places across the country who also believe in the concept, hey, we give back to the hood. They're coming from Atlanta, South Carolina, Texas, Alabama, right here in Jackson, of course. We believe in having the local entertainment here in the capital city do their thing. And one of these years now, Representative, we're gonna even have. I'm gonna speak this into existence. We're gonna even have our very own 2-time Grammy Award winner, super bad Bobby Wright. That's my personal friend. Yeah, he confirmed. He said one of these days when he's not obligated to other duties, and we understand that, he's gonna come to the hood, and if he does anything, but just welcome and say, hey, how you doing? I'm Bobby Wright.
Well, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate you. Y'all take care now.
And we appreciate Attorney Hodges for her support this year at helping us out, all right?
All right, good deal.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, this is the last caller we're going to take. We got a guest to get to. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
Right.
Part 1. Let's see here. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
Brother Stamps, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on, Pastor Jackson?
Overworking, underpaid.
Okay.
Let me say this. I really enjoyed you all the other day. You all had something beautiful over there.
did a great job, all of you. And all the things that I got two things to say. And I'm just as serious as a dead man need a coffin. When you got ready to serve the food, you didn't have no stamped hamburger. And I said, Lord, hold me a little while with the flavor locked in and the grease locked out. If you can ever get you a stamped hamburger, it'll change the tide in the state of Mississippi. Let me say this, Brother Stamps, keep doing what you're doing, and you're doing a great job. A lot of time when you do good, most of us don't like good, we like evil. And but in spite of it all, there is hope. But let me say this, the ministers that we serve with, the 48 that we serve with, we are now supporting our good friend George, already George, and Byron, and 3. And I'm saying to all of the peoples in 3, Pastor Jackson, along with his 48 pastors, along with Dr. P.J. Williams, we are behind George Stevenson. Because of the fact we have sit down and talked with him like we have talked with you, Stamps, when you got ready to run, and you told us what you're going to do, you have done that. And that's what we want. And not only that, we gave you a plan and you doing that, and that's what we want. We don't want a judge, a governor, or whoever, no money, gonna tell us what he gonna do and ain't doing it. We all have come short, but too much money has been missed, and nobody know where it is, and nobody but black folks going to jail for putting your hand in the cookie jar. But Brother Stamps, keep doing what you're doing, and I appreciate you allowing me to speak on your program, brother. And you're a man. I mean, you're all man. You're genuine with me. And you're going to always be. So you all be blessed and keep doing what you're doing.
We appreciate you, Pastor.
Thank you, man. Be blessed.
Yes, sir. All right, so you want to introduce our guest for the night?
Okay. Today we have, Tontrice Hodges. She's running for Chancery Court Judge in the District 5 and the Sub-District 3. How are you today?
I'm good. How are
Good,
you?
good. I'm good.
She's no stranger to the show. She's been here before she ran or even set off on this journey. So for those of you, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we get into your candidacy.
Okay, well, again, I'm Tontrice Hodges. I'm running for Hinds County Chancery Court Judge. I am Jackson born and bred. The only candidate in this race, Jackson born and bred, grew up right here in West Jackson, initially as a very small child over in the Battlefield area. And we then moved to Presidential Hills, where I lived on Abraham Lincoln and Flag Chapel on the corner there, at the house that's on the same side as the park. And then we moved to Prosperity, and that's where I grew up primarily and got a lot of my grit and grain growing up across from then the boarded up Jackson Mall. Went to Jackson Public Schools, Walton Elementary School, Rowan Middle School, but I had the opportunity to attend the historical Piney Woods Country Life School. So I didn't get to become 833, even though I lived right outside of Georgetown. But Piney Woods School was a good experience for me, and I ended up going to Piney Woods because my 7th grade reading teacher from Rowan Middle School, she took an interest in me. She and her husband, they saw that I was a child living in an unsafe home, lacking resources, and so they decided to take me on, keep my safety as a priority, and that changed the trajectory of my life, which was at a pivotal moment in my life at that time at age 14. And so with their love and help, I graduated class valedictorian from the Piney Woods Country Life School, attended college out of state for free. That's why I didn't attend school in Mississippi. I got an offer to attend Denison University for free. So I didn't get in any debt until I returned home to go to Mississippi College School of Law, where I graduated, worked for Morgan & Morgan immediately after graduating from law school and passing the bar on the first time. And from there, I opened up my own law practice where I specialize in family law because children and families, they are truly my passion. And that comes from my background because I was a foster child. Mm-hmm. And now I'm a licensed foster parent. So, I'm definitely walking what I'm talking. So make no mistakes about it. I can always point to things I say I'm going to do. You can always find in my history, they get done.
Okay.
And I'm currently a prosecutor at the Hinds County District Attorney's Office, where I've had the pleasure of prosecuting some high-profile cases. We had one where a guy shot an older white gentleman in his front yard in broad daylight. And when I joined the Hinds County District Attorney's Office under Robert Schuler Smith in August of 2019, that was a case that was assigned to me. And I worked on that case for a very long time, and we were finally able to take it to court this past May, and we received a guilty verdict for capital murder. And so that is a very big highlight of my prosecutorial career.
Okay, so first off, before we dig into this, a lot of times we look at the executive branch of government and we say what mayors, governors, and presidents, and we scrutinize that. Or we look into the legislative branch of government and we look at council people, state legislators, or Congress people. And we don't spend a lot of time discussing another branch of government, which is the judicial branch. But I think we should, because in America, we have 3 branches of government. We have an executive, a legislative, and a judicial branch. Each of them have balance of powers and separation of powers. There are certain things that each branch can and cannot do. But the judicial branch is just as powerful as the other 2. And we don't seem to spend a lot of time talking about the judicial branch of government. Talk a little bit about why you chose this realm versus other realms to participate in, because you have lawyers or attorneys who run for every other branch of government. Why did you choose the judicial branch?
Well, the law is my passion, along with children and families. The law, I realized that very early on when I was working at Morgan & Morgan, championing the rights of injured workers, that this is what I was made to do, to go out and help the people, the actual real people. And so the more I delved into the more I forged forward into my legal career, the more I realized I wanted to be in a better position to help people. And as a judge, I feel I can do that by way of forging relationships that will help me to influence the change of law in some areas, because judges do have that opportunity to change the law. We saw what happened with the Pink House, how we had a judge who was able to make a decision after the judges in Hinds County recused themselves. So those are opportunities that a judge has. And so I want to be in a position to help the people, because, when you are elected, people are looking for your help. They are looking for you to do something. And because I have not only great legal experience, but I also have a life experience, I know that will help me to be more than fair and very compassionate about what I'm doing. This is not just another job for me or a promotion for me. This is an opportunity for me to affect change in a city and a county that I was born and raised in.
I've seen you on the campaign trail, and I'm friends with everybody on the ballot,
right?
First and foremost. And everybody's welcome to come by the show. So, everybody listening, just come on by.
Yeah, because DeKeither didn't invite me. I called DeKeither.
Right, come on by. Come on by, because I get crossed up because there are good people out there.
Yes.
And several times during these races, you end up with, good folks and then lined up. And I think, and I want to say it like this, there are good people running for the same position, but not against each other.
Right.
I haven't seen that at this point in this race, even though it happens from time to time. And I know when I ran the first time, it was very hard to get your message out, get your word out, and you didn't never really get the opportunity a lot. And so I allow folks to come on, just call me up, call Starlette up, and we'll make this work. But talk a little bit about your focus. You talked about your background and your things you're passionate about. But I'm real critical on families, because until we fix families, we're not going to fix communities.
Correct.
It all starts with a family.
That's
Now,
right.
I'm blessed. When I say I'm blessed, I have an amazing family. I have no excuse not to excel in life because I got so much love and support around me that I don't have an excuse. I just have to go do. Some folks don't have that.
That's right.
And talk a little bit about the role that this court plays directly with families.
So the Chancery Court hears cases primarily dealing with children and families, land, and appeals that will come to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm running on the platform of safety, security, and stability, mainly because I know a lot about it. Firsthand, growing up here in the city of Jackson, safety being a top priority for most people. And so safety, as it translates to the Chancery Court, would be to ensure that our children and our families are amicably separated in a very safe fashion, and they go into safe homes. For instance, at the Chancery Court level, we have divorces that will happen. I'm not one of those people trying to run for judge and trying to keep people from having a divorce, because things happen and people sometimes just can't stay together and they need to separate, or else something may happen and they'd be going to circuit court and seeing one of the circuit court judges for a felony, not a civil suit. And so in divorces, when people separate, they have children end up being custody comes into play. And so you'll have children who may be in a custody battle because the parents are going hard at each other. And so as a judge, I want to make sure I bring that security and that stability in the courtroom, where our children and our families know what to expect from me, which is that there will be amicable resolutions to their real issues. And so children, when it comes to safety, will be placed in a home with a parent that is very much safe for them. And of course, sometimes the lines get a little crossed because we know we have the youth court, which deals more with the CPS issues. But sometimes those issues do come up at the Chancery Court level. They make their way over there. And so those will come up at times. But also making sure that our families are stable, because we have those issues not only about custody, because we want to make sure the kids can have the benefit of both parents. They need the love and affection of both their parents. And if for some reason that cannot happen, then we look to additional family members who may be able to serve in the absence of a parent. And the absence of a parent can just be by way of death sometimes. Because I have not done many termination of rights of a parent. Not because I don't want to, but because there aren't a lot of parents terminating, moving forward, trying to terminate their rights, volunteering to do that. That normally happens in instances of adoptions, when a parent has just been very much absent. And then you have someone who stepped up for a child and said, I'm going to raise this child as my own. For instance, I had that experience with a client. She had been raising a child from a cousin. A cousin had a lot of children, and so my client could not have children, and so she asked her cousin she said, the baby you're pregnant with, allow me to raise her if you don't mind. Brought the baby to my client at 6 months term. At this point, my client, the baby had bonded. Baby been in my client's wedding. Baby just been living a really good life. Mom returns later on only because something that happened with DHS. And so then now the battle is on at this point, because now we have a biological parent who's like, I want my child back, but not for the reasons that a usual biological parent would say they want their child back. Like the movie Losing Isaiah. I had the married, she was on drugs, but then she returned and said, I want my baby back because I'm ready to be a mother now. That wasn't the case in the case that I had. Mom just wanted to get the baby back to try to make her DHS matter go away, versus my client had been raising this baby, taking care of this baby. The baby had been getting sick, had been going to the doctor a lot, placing the child into daycare. This child had been feeling the love and affection of a mother and a father. And so after a day-long trial, the baby was awarded to my client, and the mom's rights were terminated ultimately because mom really could not show that she had been there providing love, affection, food, clothing, shelter, spending time with, providing benefits for this child. And of course, they fought us on appeal, and they lost again. I hate to use that
How
word,
old
win or
was the child at
lose.
this point?
At this point, the child, she was 3. Now,
Mhm.
as we sit here today, she's a little older.
Well, you know, there's some very touchy matters, especially when it comes to families and cousins and support and all those things. And it takes people who have not just the knowledge or capacity to think through the issue.
Right.
You have to have a little bit of sensitivity.
Yes.
And what I found in the cases I've run across that come back to me, clear articulation in the order. Because you can just put the basics on the paper, or you can go back and elaborate and really flush out the issue on paper so that as that paperwork goes through the other parts of the system,
Yes.
it's clear what the judge's intent is versus people having to speculate what the intent is. Talk about your ability to deliver that thoroughness to people who come before your court.
Now that's one thing I believe in. Some of the judges used to always say this because as attorneys we can provide the proposed order to the judges. The judges some judges like to write their own orders, and then there are judges who will allow the parties to write their own orders. And I would write very extensive orders so there could be no confusion, because when a client receives that final judgment, that final order, they do not want to have to come back and pay you again to try to figure out what was said on that day, because you have to pay money to a court reporter to get that transcript and then to go back and try to redo an order. So I always made sure that anything that the judge said, I got it very clear from the judge. And I also had that transcript to back me up as well, and would write a very extensive order to ensure that if my client came back to me for a final judgment, it was because they want to have it modified, not because there's some confusion. Now we have to go to court. Now that doesn't mean clients won't call back and say, hey, I have a question about it. And that's normally something minor, like, can we, make a different agreement? And I would say, yes, for a short amount of time. If you want it to be permanent, come into the office, let me write that up for you, get it signed off on, and make sure it's on file so we can move forward.
Okay. Talk a little bit about the other parts of the scope of the coverage of this court.
So the Chancery Court doesn't just hear matters concerning like divorce, child support, child custody. We also hear land disputes.
Which get real sticky.
They get real sticky sometimes, and so they also hear matters concerning with the churches, that there are disagreements within the churches. And so those matters do come before the court. And normally when I hear that a church matter is coming before the court, I make sure I get my business handled very quickly so I can get out of that courtroom, because I know I'm not going to be able to get in there for another week or two, because the churches are going to be in there fighting for at least a week or two. Chancery Court also hears matters concerning like when someone dies, like wills, or sometimes in a lot of our cases, we don't have a will. So then under Mississippi law, then your anything you have, especially of great value, will pass by way of, if anyone come, like say Sue and Bob, their mom died, they want that house and they want some cars and some other things, they can come in and have her estate probated without a will.
Let me catch this call. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. What's your question or comment?
I have a question, this is Cal, man. Good evening to everyone there.
Yes, sir, Cal, man. How you doing today?
I'm fine, sir. Thank you. And I hope you're doing the same. But I have a problem with the power of judges. I live in Mississippi, so I just say in the state of Mississippi. The history of the power of judges and some of the decisions that they have handed down, some of the rewards in different settlement cases of injured people. It should be, to me, I think some of that power should be taken away from a judge, because I don't think that one woman or one man should have the right to decide the life of the rewards that's issued people. But that having, I guess it's like a trial. You have here 12 jurors, and they decide one person sits on the bench and say, well, this is the way it's going to be in the end. Because the reason I say that is because judges are supposed to be non-political, and they should be non-racist and non-biased and non-bigoted, but that's not true. Judges are just like you and me, they're human beings. And when they look at you, something's got to go off in them, whether they're going to like you and treat you fairly in the system, or whether they're going to give you the boot. And what do you think about that, Representative Stans? I mean, is this person that's with you, is she a judge or trying to become a judge? I'd like for her to respond too about that.
Well, yes, sir. One thing, like I said, if it wasn't for the grace of God, I wouldn't even have my sanity, the amount that I've gone through this system. I spoke at the beginning of the show about some of the trials and tribulations I had over the years in dealing with, with divorce case and everything like that. And first and foremost, all men and women, if you're going through this judicial system, you need to be as educated as you can and have as much documentation as you can as you go through this process. No matter what you're going, no matter if it's a small deal or a big deal, because small deals become big deals. So my first comment would be, everyone educate yourself on what you're entering. If you can afford representation, I would highly suggest that you get representation. But even with the representation, that person who's representing you needs as much documentation and thoroughness that you can provide for them so that they can champion on your behalf. And then back more specific to your question, Cab Man, about one person having a whole lot of power. I was a black man going to divorce court in rural Alabama, in lower Alabama, and it worked out where it was fair, but it could have been better. But I would say that first and foremost, when people see that you have a little emotional intelligence when you're going through this process, and then second, you're thorough with all your paperwork and everything, and then you're right, there's a lot of power, because for the last 12 years I've been going back and forth to Alabama, and that's why I don't pull a hole any punches on brothers who don't spend time with their children. If I can drive 7 hours there and 7 hours back on Friday, and 7 hours and 7 hours back on Sunday, and I can, I've been doing that for 12 years now. My daughter counted it up. It's been over 300,000 miles we've driven back and forth on the weekends in order to make sure we spend time, because I didn't want to have daughters with daddy issues. That's one of my main things. So I would say that the system does need to be changed, but with the system we have, we got to put people in place that will change how they do their end more, because that one person does have a lot of say-so in that one signature moment. Because right now, a portion of my life is governed by a document that was typed up by someone, 12 years ago. What your response to that, Attorney Hodges?
Even though the chancellors do have a lot of discretion on the law, they still have that law there that they have to abide by. And a lot of chancery court cases, they do get appealed by people who feel like, man, I don't think this worked out in my favor. So once they get appealed, then the Court of Appeals looks to that law in that area. So what they look to, that standard, is, did the chancellor commit manifest error? Meaning, did they stray away so far from the law? Stray away so far, did they overstep their discretion to the point that their decision was not based on the law? And so, of course, the law is, there are specific factors for any issue that comes before a chancellor that a chancellor has to look to. I remember going before Judge Patton out in Capaya in Lincoln County years ago. He was a stickler of having that rule book and also having that statute book and his family law book right there with him. so that anytime an issue came up, he'd always tell this law clerk or somebody, grab my book, because he wanted to make sure that when he made his decisions, that it was based on that law, not based on how he felt or what he thought. And he had never been overturned by the Court of Appeals except one time. And so I know that that's the type of judge I would like to be. I would like to make sure that I'm going by the law, and I'm not doing it based on how I feel, because I know there is a lot of discretion and that a chancellor can change a person's life with the stroke of a pen. That's why it's very important that we pay very close attention to this race and get to know all the candidates involved. We're not just going by a name or going on based on, oh, someone's a judge already. We need to check out all the candidates and look at their background.
Okay.
Well, let me say another thing on the chapter. So I appreciate your response so far, but think about this now. You made a good point when you say appeal. If we had that judicial committee set up, that would eliminate a lot of appeals, because you have 12 people looking at this case and they all evaluating the evidence and everything, and then they make a decision. Wouldn't that help speed up the process for the system? If we have so much backlog in the system that is created now because of appealing certain cases?
No, sir. And I don't mean to interrupt you, with circuit court, even though we do have jurors, I put on a lot of jury trials. And so even though I am trying a case in front of a jury, guess what? That defendant or that plaintiff or that respondent in a civil suit can also appeal, no matter what the 12 people in the box say. So they still have their right to appeal as well. So no matter what, whether you have a jury or not, we still have that Court of Appeals and that Supreme Court there to run that check and balance against the lower court to ensure that the law is being followed. So, without the Court of Appeals, without the Supreme Court, we won't have that checks and balance. It's not the jurors that create the checks and balance on the judges. It is the Court of Appeals and the Supreme Court.
As a judge, do you think that these laws that's on the book now has been there for some time? Do you think a lot of these laws will put there by conservative, racist people that's by design to shape and to control the lives of people even today?
I think the laws were put in place for that moment in time that they wanted to make sure carried forward. And so that's why now it is our time as citizens to fight back against antiquated laws that are trying to be forced upon us, because right now we're living in a different day and age now versus some of the laws that were put on the books many years ago. And so as citizens, it's imperative that we pay attention and stay abreast so we can fight back against a lot of the laws that are being, sometimes forced on us or being made by a few good men to keep us in antiquated situations or to roll us back or dial us back into a different day and age.
Hey, thanks a lot, Cap. Now let me move on to the next question, okay?
Yeah, thank you all for taking my call.
All right.
Have a good evening.
Thanks, Cap, man, Starlette.
He asked a good question about just antiquated laws. I would just like to ask, what do you believe are the causes of the high rates of minority incarceration? Is that a good question?
Talking to me, Starlette?
Yes, ma'am.
You want to know what's not? Come on, give it to me.
What do you believe are the causes of the high rates of minority incarceration?
I do know it started back on that war on drugs. It started early on with that. It started on very early, much earlier than that.
Do you think the war on drugs has been effective or ineffective?
Ineffective when it comes to certain things. Like
Okay.
Now we got people profiting from marijuana, but a lot of people were placed in jail for it. So now we want to make sure we retroactively apply laws. That would be a good starting place. And then also with some other with other crimes, because the jails are becoming a lot fuller. So we have to look to what are going to be our guidelines when we our sentencing guidelines for things, and will there be some checks and balance on the sentencing guidelines? I know sometimes people who are in federal court, like the attorneys who practice in federal court, they would like to the state judges to have the same guidelines as the federal judges when sentencing people.
Do you think that's a good call?
It just kind of depends. As a prosecutor, you know, my job is to make sure I keep the county safe. And so, of course, when I'm trying to bring justice to a family who have lost someone to a senseless crime like a murder, of course, I want the maximum. If they kill someone in their front yard and stole their money, I want that capital murder guilty verdict. Now we got some petty crimes going on. When I say a petty crime, I mean it's non-violent. Like you in possession of some stolen goods.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to put you in jail over that. Unless you just have a very, 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 very bad habit of that, then we might have to seek some alternative solutions. Because, you know, of course, my boss is all about smart justice. And so I try to make sure I keep that in mind when I'm prosecuting matters.
I see.
Okay. You got any more questions? I see you got a whole list there.
Yeah, they got answered very quickly on in this show, but maybe could you tell what's your general judicial philosophy to people that like have concerns about political biasness or racial biasness in the courtroom?
Now, see, that's the thing. Hinds County has me spoiled as an attorney because when I go to court, we're majority Black there. And then the 2 white judges we have there, I never feel any different way. I don't feel racism. I don't feel anything like that. Because, and it may be because I have good relationships with those judges. I'm not sure, but I just know that doesn't necessarily come into play when I go into a chancery courtroom here in Hinds County.
Makes sense. What about like just dealing with the court, like the defendant or the plaintiff, like when you're ruling, I guess, when you have to rule?
As your next Hinds County Chancery Court judge, I'm not, my primary focus will be on the children and families.
Okay.
I'm trying to make sure I'm bringing safety, security, and stability. This is not a tagline. This is a real life walk for me because that's what I'm doing now.
Okay. Let me catch this call. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. Turn your radio down, caller.
Hello.
Turn your radio down, caller.
Okay. How you doing?
I'm doing well. What's your question or comment?
Yeah, my question and comment, I'm hearing about chancery court. My name is Peter, and I called some time ago, and we have a court order, 2 court orders to see our mother in Flowood, and we have 2 chancery court orders, a writ of assistance and equitable relief. How is it that if she gets to win that seat, how is it you're going to help other people to see their parent when it comes to a nursing home, having those type of 2 court orders through the chancery court? Can you explain it?
Well, according to the rules, I cannot provide an opinion or say what I, give an opinion or hint to what I would do on the bench in regard, like specifically to your matter, because as your next Hinds County Chancery Court judge, I have to be fair and I have to be impartial. So according to the rules of ethics right now, I cannot state what I can or will do regarding that specific matter.
I see. Because we need leadership, but we need attorneys or judges that, that can stick by the orders and enforce orders so that people like myself, that we can see our mother, which is 74 years old, in Methodist Specialty Care Center right now in the nursing home, and we still can't see. Now, I flew in from Vegas just a couple of days ago here with my 2 court orders, and I cannot see my mother without being discriminated against or without being targeted against. We have a sheriff
Bro, Peter,
and we can't see our mother.
We got.
No, I'm saying we can't see our mother.
I know, but we got 2 minutes left to go. We got 2 minutes left to go on the show. Let me kind of round the show off, okay, brother?
Okay.
All right, but we have had you on the show, and let me allow her to respond to that. If she can, I don't know if she can, but let me kind of round this up because we got the next show about to come on. Okay, bro?
Okay, I'm listening.
All right, thanks a lot. Did you want to respond in some way to?
The best thing the best advice I always give is please get an attorney for that type of matter, because I know I can't.
And we've had that brother on the show. My heart goes out to him. You're trying to see your mother. We had him on the show what, about 6-8 months ago or so.
No, not quite. Maybe just 2 months.
Okay, but my heart goes out to you, brother. I hope you
2 orders, because As a former family law attorney, my brain is turning right
Right.
now, and I really want to ask him more questions like, have you done this? Have you
Right,
done that?
right,
But I'm
You
a
know,
prosecutor now,
yeah.
so he has to get a family law attorney.
So as we finish up, what you want the people to do and when you want to do it?
On November 8th, I want you to vote for the safety, security, and stability of our children and families here in Hinds County by voting for Tontrice Hodges, Hinds County Chancery Court Judge.
Starlette, you got any important words?
I like that safety, security, and stability. That's almost Starlette, so many S's. I like that. That's great. I hope that everyone continues to read up on each candidate, educate yourself, and let's get this change working, guys.
Well, what I would say is all candidates that are running, y'all welcome to come on by. We're not endorsing folks, but we want folks to be viewed, be vetted, so that we can make good decisions as a community. And that's what this foremost faculty has always been about. It's trying to help folks make good, educated, and informed decisions on the people who are presenting themselves for office. We want to round the show off by thanking everybody who always participates, all our sponsors, the Michael Jordan Transportation Service. You can go to www.mjstransportation1.com for your transportation needs. And over at Stamp SuperBurgers, go on over there and get you a whole cow between 2 pieces of bread. Let's juice it down to the last drop. And we got a couple more questions online. We'll come at those on next time around. As we end every show, we always say, never let anybody put you in a position where you don't love your own people. Because when you hate your own people, you're part of the very oppression we're trying to lift ourselves out of. I love you, Jackson. I love you, Mississippi. Handyman, get us out of here.